Hey everyone, my name's Elise, welcome back to another video. So, if you've been following my Twitch streams at all, I've been trying a new thing on my Twitch where I've been, taking viewer, donations. So, I do $15 and then I'll play a deck list of their choice in local tournaments that I enter on stream. And, figure we turned it into a little analysis of what we went through with their lists and how everything went. So, today we played Burning Abyss, and we played, the person that donated was none other than the James Frazier. What's up, James?
What's up, Elise?
So why do you want to make me play the BA deck today?
Well, I'll be honest. I topped with it with Marcus Hayden and Justin Singh for the LCS, and the format has actually changed a decent amount since then. And me and you were talking about it on call one night, and you talked to me about your donation thing, where somebody can donate, and they can play whatever deck they want, and I thought that was a cool idea, so I went for it. I wanted to see you play my Burning Abyss deck, and I thought tonight was a very fun time.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we did not top the local, but I think the performance still went really well, and I think the deck was still really nice. It was just a couple of unfortunate things that happened in my matchups. I went 3-2. I played against one.
You started off 3-0. You started off 3-0.
Yeah, I started off 3-0, and the deck performed a lot better than I thought it was going. I knew it was going to perform decently, but it flowed a lot better than I thought it would, and my first 3 rounds were meta matchups. I played against Virtual World, I played against Drytron, I played against the Bird deck, and my losses were another Bird deck just because I didn't draw a good combination of hand. One game I only drew one hand trap that was very weak, and then the other game I just dude was godly. And then against Dino, that dude was extra godly, fuck. But yeah, I mean, the deck is still really nice, and I think it's still something to consider. So, anything else you want to say about the deck, James, or you just want to show it off?
Yeah, we can just go ahead and show it off, and we can talk about it as we go, I guess.
So to start things off, very obviously 3-2 guide, weird.
Yeah, weird. Best card in the deck.
And then the other starter that isn't a BA is 2 Rhino Warrior. So I know the 2 Rhino is just because so Tour Guide is the only thing that guarantees you Beatrice Pass. Rhino doesn't in the same regard, so I think that's why there's only 2 Rhino. Is there any other reasoning for it?
Yeah, I mean, Rhino's a little weird. The reason why I played Rhino over just playing other BA names is because I mained the nib at the LCS, so I wanted to make sure if I nibbed them, I could still play my BA engine going second, and then 2 Rhino gives me 5 cards instead of 3. So I mean, and if you're random milling, then Rhino is also any BA you want in your deck, so that's fine too.
Yeah, just from how Rhino was for me today, it was probably one of the brickier cards in the deck, in a sense, just because, it doesn't flow as well with how you want the deck to run. Unfortunately, you still need it as a starter piece, or, again, it's a good mill piece, but it gets awkward. So,
It does get awkward. I would never play 3 of this. I would go to 1 before 3, 100%.
Yeah, I would even consider, another BA name or more hand traps. I know that's a huge debate point that's been talked about right now with everyone, that's working on the deck, but yeah, I don't think there's much more to be said about this.
It just comes down, it just comes down to nib or not nib. If you don't want to play nib, then you can just cut Rhino altogether. It just comes down to that, to me.
Yeah, but I feel nib's too strong where you have to keep this at the same time, so...
Right. That's where me and Justin worked on this deck a lot together, and we just figured out we came to the conclusion that 2 was probably the best number.
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense, though. It was fine, but it's just, out of any other card I could have opened, it was clunky, but at the same time, it was, still good. So I can't complain about it.
Right.
But yeah. Anyways, that's it for those. Then we got a pretty standard BA lineup to start with. 3 Graph, 3 Seer, 3 Skarm, 3 Farfa, and then this is where it gets a little weirder, because the only other BA names are 2 Libic and 1 Alec. Do you want to explain that a little bit, or?
Yeah, so I mean, Well, I probably don't have to explain, the Skarm, Seer, and Wrath too much because those are just clearly the three
Yeah.
best because they all replace themselves. But the 3 Farfa is the best because it's the interruption, right? And then we get to the last 3, the 2 Libic, and of course the 1 Alec. So the Libic actually comes up a lot to where like you actually need to send it with Booney a lot of the time for like the combo, and if you don't need to send it, it's still like a solid BA to just have underneath Beatrice, right? The Alec was like the random one of, because against Virtual World, if you hand trap them and they end with Shin Shin, and then you can make Beatrice on your turn, you can well, not make Beatrice on your turn, but if you end it with Beatrice and you stop them on your turn, you can detach for Beatrice and then send Alec, negate the Shin Shin, crash into the Shin Shin with your Beatrice, trigger all your BA effects under it, negating the Shin Shin as well, summoning Purple Dante, crashing in the Shin Shin, and then ripping a card from their hand. And then you can draw Purple Dante before that too, but like it creates insane advantage actually in the Virtual World matchup.
Yeah, like,
and it's just like it's just better in my opinion than Barbar or whatever else.
Right, like I feel like this format's fast enough to where like Barbar would get really iffy. And like this card didn't really come up for me today, but I understand the applications of it and like why it's good. And again, this is all just me playing in one local. Like I didn't play in like multiple locals or anything. Like I just played today, so this is just like my snap analysis. And like the only thing I didn't like about like the BA lineup is just there weren't more different names. Like Libic was 100% one of the most important cards in the deck list. There are times I even wished for 3, but like it's so cloggy at 3. Like I think 2 is a perfect number. But like there are other times where like it's just a few more names would have come up just for the sole sake of like when you open too much of like a combination of Graph and Seer when you already open like Tour Guide or something, when you already play, it just gets really clunky. Obviously wouldn't cut down on those other BA names, but it just gets weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, so I'm with you. I think it's a double-edged sword, though. I think it's like, so going first, you would love to maybe have like another BA name in your hand, but like going second, you kind of love those hand traps.
Right.
Because like that's the best part about the deck, right? You stun them, then you can make Zeus going second, or Beatrice going second, whatever the matchup is. But yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, I like this. I like this BA lineup for that. I would love to have more BA decks in the name or in the deck if I could just never draw those names.
Right.
But like,
Yeah, I mean, even drawing them wouldn't have been the worst, but the thing is, like, I'm in the same boat as you. I wouldn't want to sacrifice like a hand trap to like fill that spot.
Right.
But
yeah, right.
It's still like got importance to it, so I don't know. It's just in a really weird place. So
yeah, like there's a lot of hands where you're just like you draw like double Skarm, and you're like, well, if this was like a Barbar or like a an Alec or something,
anything else.
Yeah, but it's like I still think it's correct to max out on all the good names. Because,
of course.
Draw like, Rhino in a good name or Tour Guide in a good name. It's just better than not.
Like that was never an argument. It's more just, is there a way we can fit more names? And as of right now, I don't see a good way. At least when you get deeper into the deck list, there might be, but I don't think there's a good way at the same time. But
right, especially where the format's at now too. Like when the March list comes, can't wait. Like there could be like many different changes if we do this deck to make it better. Yep. This deck was also for the LCS mainly, which was like coming into the LCS. It was literally just Drytron and Virtual World. After the LCS, just everything's been coming out randomly. So,
right. And like, to be fair, I'd still rather cater my main deck thinking I'm gonna play against meta, because that's how you should be as a deck builder, anyways, and just have enough in your side deck to deal with Rogue. So,
right. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's probably all we need to say about the BA lineup. We actually go to hand traps now. So for the hand traps, there are 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Droll, and 3 Skullmeister for the 3 ofs, and then there's going to be 2 Nibiru, 2 Ghost Bell, and 1 Crow. So I guess the weirdest thing about like the hand trap lineup is the 1 random Crow, and I guess also it comes down to 2. If you think like Bell is as impactful as it could be, is just like the only iffy points, but Yeah,
so I get this a lot. So I think that like Droll and Ash are the best hand traps because Ash is good against everything, right? And then Droll is good against everything, and you can chain Droll to Droll, which matters a lot in the Drytron matchup. Nib, you know, is like kind of a little shaky on the matchups, but like I think 2 Nib is fine because like you don't want to draw 2 Nib in any hand because it's not impactful enough this format. I mean, it's just not. And then Bell is kind of the same way, right? So like if you cut out Crow from your deck list completely, right? Let's just cut Crow out from this hand trap lineup. Then what are we going to add in? Do you want to add in a 3rd Nib? I don't think so. Do you want to add in a 3rd Bell? I don't think so. And then Crow is kind of decent against everything. Yeah. So that was number 13.
Yeah. No, like, actually it's 14. I think if I counted right, unless I don't know how to.
Yeah, 14. Yeah. Sorry, because Meister's not once per turn either. Yeah. Meister was an easy 3-of too.
No, so like the only reason why I would consider 3 Nib, but I wouldn't consider it in this specific deck, is just because it's such a high impact hand trap at the same time. But the problem is going second with Nib is so bad.
Right.
It's so hard to justify it completely. The only other thing I would really consider in this deck is Gamma. Like, just because what you could do is, I feel like there's one, like, free space in the extra deck, and since we play Desires, like, you could always just, like, bait out a hand trap with the, Desires, and then just Gamma, and then just Omega, and you still make all your plays. Like, as a potential thing.
So this format, as a whole, I love Gamma for the reason you just said. The problem is with the BA deck, it's like you just said. It's literally like if you don't draw Ash with Gamma going first, you just can't trigger the Gamma. Like there's nothing else in your deck that can trigger it. Like they're not gonna like Gamma your BA reveal.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, like the thing is, the applications aren't always there. It's more as like a going, like when you're going second as like just a high impact hand trap. That's more what matters more than anything else, I think. But like at the same time, it is BA. You want your hand traps to always be able to do something because that's the way you're winning.
Right, because Gamma has diminishing value and you can't trigger it enough going first with this deck. That was my decision on it. But overall, this format, I love Gamma as a hand trap. I just don't think I think BA just can't play it correctly. Like if anything, I would maybe think about cutting out the nibs for something else. But like I don't think I would. I don't think I could play Gamma in this deck.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And like, I don't know. That's maybe one downside to this deck, but overall, like, you still run enough hand traps that still do enough. It's just like you wish they could be a little more high impact at times, but like, they're still insane. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else we need to say about this, but. We can just go to the spell cards, because that is all for monsters. It's very simple. Cool. 3 Desires, 1 Called By. Do we need to explain this?
Well, I mean, we probably don't, but we will anyways.
Oh, okay, James.
So, so 3 Desires, because we like to draw 2, and then Called By, because Desires and Torghad are the highest impact cards in the deck, and if you draw Called By with either one of those, it's good. But let's say you draw just Called By and then enough to just end with like Beatrice Pass or whatever you end with, right? Setting Called By this format is actually really good in my opinion. It's good enough against enough decks to just be a trap card essentially.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like the Called By is perfectly fine. I have no quarrels with this card, and like the Desires is correct in like this specific kind of deck because this is a video I'm gonna make later about what deck should play Prosperity or not. But like this is a deck where you need the like individual card advantage more than you need a specific like card.
Right.
So I think Desires is the best choice for this deck.
Yep. Nope. And I agree. Like you would rather just have the 2 cards in this deck for sure.
But yeah, so that's all for the spells, and then the last 2 cards are actually trap cards. 2 Solemn Strike. So, I don't know, I like these cards a lot. How do you feel about it? And whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Solemn Strike is great because if you start with it, it's better than a hand trap, and then if you're going second and you stun them, then it's also just better than a hand trap. I mean, there's not much to say about it, but it's like, I mean, you know, we could probably fit in the third, or we could keep 2, but it's like, and I wouldn't play any more other traps. You literally can't play more than 2 or 3 traps in this deck, in my opinion. And then strike is just the best trap. It stops hand traps. It stops, you know, it just stops everything.
Yeah, I think this kind of replaces the like factor of needing something high impact, because this will like still facilitate a high impact slot. Because if you open like at least like 1 or 2 hand traps with this card going second, you'll still at least set up a board and then have a way to make it so they don't have follow-up afterwards if you're able to like pick apart their board enough. So I think the card's really interesting. And like there's no other hand traps with how the deck plays that you really want more hand traps, so
right, because strike is just better than a hand trap as long as you're, you know, you're not just going second against like a combo deck, right? Like But with the math, I like at least the 2 of in the deck.
Yeah, and I think you still need some way to like facilitate like a defensive like card like this to at least have a little something, because you don't have as much as you'd like to. So,
Right.
But yeah, I guess that is it for the trap cards. I guess we'll go to the extra deck next. Pack, thanks for the host. I'm recording a video right now, so oops. It's what it is. But anyways, so we'll start off with the 2 Dante and the 1 Beatrice, and I guess we can include the purple Dante here as well. So I think this is pretty self-explanatory. There's no need for 3 Dante. The purple Dante I actually summoned like 2 times a day, and like it existed.
Yeah. So when I first started playing the deck, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna play purple Dante because they're just not gonna destroy my Beatrice. But we're in 2021 now, and absolutely they will destroy your Beatrice. It comes up so much that it's actually just wrong to not play the purple Dante. And when you get to summon purple Dante, I mean, you usually just win, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I also guess I could include the Cherubini with this for the BA lineup, but like, so there was actually a couple times where I kind of wish there was a second one of this. It didn't come up much, but it came up like once or twice, and there was like 1 flex spot in the extra deck probably, but like, otherwise it was nice. And Beatrice Pass is actually kind of an FTK. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, literally, if they don't like clear your board or just kill you or just, you know, end with the negates, you actually just win with Beatrice Pass.
Yup.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, that's all I'll say about these ones. Then we got the 2 Zeus, 1 Downard, and 1 Fortune Tune to round out like the extra Zeus engine or the rest of the XYZs. There's not really much more to explain. There's not really like any other XYZs that pull a lot of weight, and this is just like, also this is good for time and like other stuff, but like double Zeus can actually come up, so yeah.
Right, yep. Booney is nice.
Yep. So I don't think there's anything else to say about these cards. Then we got the Barricade.
Rampango Nation. I'm not sure who told me to put Purple Dante back in my extra deck. I'll have to think about that for a very long time.
What's a Rampango Nation?
That might have to be a whole new video. We'll do that. But yeah, it's just not coming to me right now.
Oh my god. Imagine posting a video on Rampango Nation. I'm just kidding. Justin, don't hurt me. Anyways, for the rest of the links, we got a Barricade Borg, the IP, Phoenix, or I can just drop everything. Professional YouTuber right here, I swear. Unicorn, Borosword, and Apollosa. Okay, so the card that was literally the most useless, the most shitty card in my extra deck was this goddamn Barricade. Why was this here? Explain it.
Yeah, so so it was in the deck. Well, I had 1 extra spot before the LCS, and it was access code talker, right? But I went about maybe 2.5 weeks without summoning access code, and I literally couldn't think of another card in my extra deck that would really come up. And then that same night before the LCS, we added in the Crescendo, right? So I'm like, well, if I draw the Crescendo and I have the Apollo play, I can just make the Barricade board blocker into the Apollo play, right?
Yeah.
And then that will allow me to ditch the Crescendo. That way, you know, I'm not just like setting it as a bluff, and I'm actually just getting the Cycle Reader to my hand, because Cycle Reader is just so impactful against Drytron.
That is true.
And that's the only reason. I did make it one other time actually during the LCS. I needed to trigger like a Libic my hand, and then like I summoned like a seer, and then like Link climbed, but that's not the reason why I played it. The reason why I played it was just crescendo if I drew
Yeah.
it.
But I don't know. It didn't come up once for me. Maybe I'm just lucky.
Yeah.
But otherwise, all these other cards are pretty self-explanatory. They're pretty high impact. This unicorn was kind of awkward though, without having the access code, but it's still fine.
Right.
But yeah, otherwise, the rest of these links are pretty average and standard.
Yeah, because I cut the reason why I cut access code is because like I was really just never making it, because like if I ended with the Beatrice and they didn't get rid of it, I would just kill them with Borosword every time. The access code just really didn't come up before the LCS as well. Like the only deck that it would really ever come up against anyways was just the Eldlik deck, but like I just beat Eldlik without it. I think BA just beats Eldlik just straight up. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that makes sense. There was like 1 or 2 times the access code might have come up, but then like it's not like other decks where you can like very easily access code plus another like decent beater on field to like go for games, so it gets awkward too. So
right, yeah, no, it was coming up a lot where it was like I could do 7800 with access code.
Yeah.
But I could also just do game with Borosword.
Right.
So
yeah. Oh, yeah. Otherwise, that's it for the extra deck. Then we can go into the side deck, which is where the spiciness resides, I think. So there's the 3 Cycle Reader, and I guess to go with that, we have the Crescendo. You made this popular during the LCS and still got it in here, and it still came up, and yeah, I don't know.
it was pretty nice, actually, when you did it. It was
Yep.
very nice, actually.
Yep.
I was proud. I was definitely proud.
Yeah, apparently Appaloosa Cycle Reader is kind of insane.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like that's pretty self-explanatory. Only 2 Lancia. Why are there only 2 Lancia?
So I'm a little behind on the. Okay, no, here we go. Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of Lancia. I do think it's very good in this deck. I just like it was more of a room issue. I would not be opposed to playing 3. I think I might have played 3 at the LCS. I went back between 2 and 3 a lot.
Okay.
But they like I don't know. It's just a little weird because it doesn't trade. It doesn't trade with Virtual World, which is why I don't like it. But also, like, if you can stun them, you can stun them with a Lancia, then you can kind of, take control of the duel.
Yeah.
So, like, that was kind of my theory on that.
Well, so, like, this card has, like, applications against, like, the bird deck, too. So it's not like this card is, like, has only 1 use. So that's why, like, the only reason why I would consider more copies. Like...
Yeah, and the Tri Brigade deck is seeing more play now, which is like before the LCS, it was not even on our radar, and I have been playing obviously post LCS, so I do think it could definitely go to 3. I agree with you on that.
But yeah, that's it for the monsters in the side deck. We got 3 Droplet and 3 Twin. The droplet interaction with BA is just insane, and then like its twin with BA is like it just has like too many uses. Do you think you could see Duster being in the side because like just there's still enough Eldlik decks that exist, or like other
decks? For Eldlik, I think that Duster's not needed. I think BA just beats Eldlik regardless because now this was, I'm not really thinking of like the Jesse's Eldlik where he played like the rivalries and the borders. That's tough regardless, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I need the extra card for Eldlik in general because like usually against Eldlik you can just summon Fortune Tune and then attack whatever and then just Zeus them. Like. Yep. That's usually what happens, so that's the way I look at that. But I mean, Duster is a good card, so yeah, that's definitely an option for sure.
But yeah, otherwise these are pretty self-explanatory.
But coming into the LCS, I was thinking like Prank Kids and the Invoked deck that the deck that summons Winda, and then the Shaddoll deck that summons Winda. Twin beats the you know, on standby phase. So, and then Duster doesn't. I mean, that was my only real decision between like two twin, and then the one Duster versus 3 twin.
That's fair. But yeah, these cards are self-explanatory. They're cool, whatever. And then I guess the other little spice is there's 2 Mind Drain and 1 Mischief of the Gnomes. The Mischief, I think you played this in the LCS, right?
Yes.
Okay, so so we already know about this, but the Mind Drain was something you just came up with, right?
No, I played them both in the Mind Drain.
Apparently I don't remember
sorry.
your list.
I played Mind Drain. Yeah, I played Mind Drain and the Gnomes in the LCS.
Yeah.
So because actually Virtual is my worst matchup with PBA. I think Drytron is 100% in my favor by a large margin, and then you know like Calamities is just like too good, because like I can actually like a couple times in the LCS and before the LCS I can actually break the board of Drytron with the ultimateness just with BA cards sometimes, like, especially if I hand trap them and they don't end like super ultimately. But the like I guess the debate is like, you know, do you want the hand traps to stop them, or do you want the droplets to stop them? I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. I mean, like, these cards are really nice though, so I can't complain about them one bit. Like, it would have been nice if instead it was like maybe one of the Mind Drains was another Lancia, but like just because going second, like I fear more going second than I do going first. So
yeah, same. But like I had 3 Cycle Reader, 3 Droll going second.
Yeah.
Against the against that, I just think Mind Drain was so good because like like I said before the local started the night, I'm like one time like I stopped the Virtual World player with Mind Drain, and like I just put up Boral Sword, went to battle phase to kill him. He tried to nib me. I'm like, nah, you can't do that, Mind Drain.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like it was so good.
Yeah, I think one of the dude was gonna try and like ash me or something, and I'm like, I have a Mind Drain up. Oops.
Right.
But yeah, no, the card was pretty nice. So I don't know, but overall, yeah. That's the deck list. Anything else you want to say about it, or?
And just to go over, Mischief of the Gnomes, it's like you send it off Beatrice as well. It lowers everything by a level. They can't really do any synchro plays with it, and then they can't summon Nyan back from grave. And then if you do hard roll it, it's actually better than Crescendo because you can just set it and activate it and does the exact same thing. And then you get another effect on it the next turn.
Yep.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, no, like I actually hard drew it against my Virtual World matchup, and I like set it, and I'm like, just flip it, and I just won, and I was like sick.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
and that's why I played the barricade board blocker, right? Because I'm like, well, if I do draw the Crescendo, because I'm playing Desires and we're playing a lot of games against Virtual World, I want to just be able to ditch it if I draw it. And so that was the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, anyways, I think that's about it. Even though actually, wait, I think standings just got posted. Let's see if we somehow snuck into a top slot, because it was like a 30-person tournament tonight. Let's see. Oh, no, we don't have prize, but whatever. But yeah, we went 3-2 tonight, which is unfortunate, but it was more just just what happened in the matches. But like the deck flowed really well, and I think it was really cool, and I think it's something to consider going forward. And this is actually like a really fun deck to play for this for the donation stuff. So I do appreciate it, James. I hope you enjoyed watching me play it.
No, I had a great time watching you play it, actually. Yeah, it was a very fun time.
I'll admit I didn't play it the best I could have, but like I made it work, and I didn't do anything too awful. So I'll take
it. No, I think you played it. I think you played it well above average, and I mean, you lost. I mean, like round 5, you lost to like the Dino card that couldn't be targeted, that shouldn't really be played. But it
happens.
That's whatever. Yeah. That's whatever.
But yeah, so anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. In the future, we might not always have like a guest on to talk about their deck list too, but I'll try and do that in the future. Otherwise, I'll do my best to kind of explain like all my thought processes and how it went through like just picking up a random deck that a viewer asked me to play through an entire local, and I think this is just a cool thing to do going forward. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like. If you want to watch this stuff live, you actually get to watch me play the local on Twitch, and you know, it's just a lot of fun. I think everyone really enjoys when we do the streams and whatnot, so it's a lot of fun. So make sure you check out the Twitch stream down below. Subscribe. Check out all my sponsors: TGG Gaming, Midwest Gaming, YGO Daily. Use code MWG5 for 5% off all your purchases there. And yeah, that'll about do it for today. So thanks for joining me with this, James, and thank you for the donation to play this deck.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks guys. Have a good one. Bye.